A life-changing experience with racism directed toward his family created a lifelong fascination with human behavior in Dr. Derald Wing Sue. Sue, an American-born son of Chinese immigrants, has been described as a pioneer in the psychology of racism and anti-racism. Currently a professor of psychology at Columbia University's Teachers College, Sue is credited with defining a vocabulary of racism.
What we find, for example, is that many white individuals have difficulty talking about race issues. That's why the title of my book, Race Talk and the Conspiracy of Silence. What we witness when a racial dialogue occurs, many white individuals engage in what I call rhetorical incoherence. That is that if you ask them, how do you feel about interracial relationships, they will tiptoe around the topic. They will stammer, mispronounce words. And when we begin to explore what was going on, we discovered that they were fearful that whatever they said or did would make them appear racist. So they engaged in what I call strategic colorblindness, pretending that they didn't see the issue. But what we found, very interestingly, was that when people of color observed their verbal interactions on this topic, rather than appearing less racist, they appeared more so. And so it's important to be able to freely talk. You're going to commit racial blunders, but when teachers, when caretakers, when parents are stilted in their ability to communicate with their sons and daughters easily about race, they perpetuate racial bias. We've talked to parents and they will tell us about embarrassing situations where they have a 3 or 4-year-old shopping with them at a grocery store, and the small child will say something, look at that person with the brown skin, does it taste like chocolate? And the mother will hush the child up. And by doing that, they're saying, we don't talk about differences. There's something wrong about noticing differences. But if the parent was able to freely talk about it, because the child is not equating those differences with deviancy or things that are wrong, but making a naive, open observation, authentic. And the parents have to be equally free in their verbal dialogues to be able to communicate. It's okay to talk about differences. There's nothing wrong about it. And let's talk about it.
You'll see Dr. Sue again. He will return in this series to help us understand the vocabulary of racism.